Hi everybody, welcome back. Today we're going through Luke chapter 23. Jesus is taken from the Sanhedrin to Pontius Pilate because the scribes and the Pharisees need a governor's approval for an execution. They say he won't give tribute to Caesar, he is perverting the nations, and he says he's Christ a king. Pilate doesn't go for it. He says he finds no fault in Jesus. The scribes and Pharisees go even farther to say he stirreth up the people, teaching throughout from Galilee to this place. Upon hearing this, Pilate sends Jesus to Herod, learning that he's from Galilee. That means it's Herod's jurisdiction. Jesus is silent throughout the entire conversation with Herod, who asks many questions because of his fascination with the miracle worker. Jesus knows his heart isn't in it for God. Herod mocks Jesus, dresses him in elaborate robes, and sends him back to Pilate, and somehow Jesus creates a bond within the two because of it. Pilate tries 3 times to tell the masses that Jesus has done nothing wrong. Execution is not necessary. But when he sees how wild the crowd is getting, to avoid a riot, he placates their wishes. Pilate releases Barabbas and orders Christ's execution. Simon is tasked with carrying the cross for Jesus. Jesus stops to speak to the women that follow in tears, saying, "Weep for yourselves and for your children," foreshadowing of the trials that will come and the time we wait for Christ to return. 2 thieves are to be executed with Christ. One mocks Jesus and says to save himself and them as well, and the other thief seems to have heard Jesus' message and throws himself at Christ's mercy. He asks Jesus to remember him when Jesus comes into his kingdom. The 3 are crucified. The sky is dark in the middle of the day. Jesus cries out to God and asks him to commend his spirit, and he dies. The veil of the temple has already been torn in 2, and all people will now have access to God's love and forgiveness here on earth. Joseph of Arimathea requests the body of Jesus in the absence of the disciples. Pilate grants it to him. Joseph retrieves it, wraps it in linen, places it in a tomb with a rock rolled in front of it. The women that have followed Jesus want to clean and anoint his body. They are forced to keep the rules of the Sabbath. They will not be able to do so until the Passover is finished. They will need to wait until the next day. Okay, everybody, that's the end of Luke chapter 23. Please join me tomorrow as we get through the end of the book of Luke with Luke 24 and the resurrection of Christ. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask them below. If you have any prayer requests as well. And if not, then I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks very much. Have a good night. Bye.